This is an introduction to the historical and associated performance FAST graphs. The historical FAST graphs research tool provides a clear historical perspective of a company's normal operating results and prices or valuations. Their primary purpose is to illustrate the strong correlation and functional relationship between earnings and market price in the long run. These charts capture volumes of fundamental data at a glance. However, it's important to understand that they are only tools to think with and should only represent the starting point to more extensive fundamental research. On the other hand, in an instant, these powerful tools can tell the user more about the success of the businesses behind the companies they are analyzing than any other research tool available. Perhaps the best way to understand the historical FAST graphs is to first look at each of their four major components individually before combining them into a complete historical FAST graph. The navigation bar is the long rectangular shaped tan bar to the left of the graph. Most manipulations of the FAST graphs can be accomplished by merely checking or unchecking the boxes. The four components being referred to here are first the earnings growth rate, then the normal PE ratio line, then the price line, and finally a dividend shaded area if the company pays dividends. First, let's build a complete historical FAST graphs on VF Corporation, best known as the maker of Wrangler jeans. We are going to build a complete historical FAST graphs by unchecking all the boxes except the earnings growth line, and then adding one of the three other important components one at a time as a vivid demonstration of what we mean when we say essential fundamentals at a glance. Next, we will add monthly closing stock prices, the black line, by simply checking the price line box to illustrate how the FAST graphs prove the earnings and price relationship and correlation. With a lot of short-term volatility in between, in the long run, price follows earnings. Then we will check the dividend area box, which will show dividends as a light blue shaded area stacked on top of earnings. Finally, we will add the normal price earnings ratio, the dark blue line, by simply checking the normal PE ratio line box, an important valuation measurement. This line shows the user how and what level the market has historically valued each business. When all four boxes are checked, a complete historical FAST graphs is created. Since a picture is worth 1,000 words, we've created a group of 5 companies by typing each of their symbols into the ticker box followed by a comma, and then clicking the Go button. As we scroll through each example, notice how quickly your perspective of business is formed. We will contrast steady and smooth earnings growth with cyclical and collapsing earnings. Just below the main historical FAST graphs are 2 additional graphs that each correlate 2 important fundamental considerations. The top graph shows year-end price-earnings ratios overlaid with historical interest rates, and the bottom graph shows price to sales correlated to sales. Then just below these 2 graphs is the final historical performance result associated with the main historical FAST graphs. Performance results can be automatically compared to either the S&P 500 or the Russell 1000 growth with dividends at the user's pleasure, again by simply checking the appropriate box. Upon logging into the FAST graphs research tool, all of these important boxes are pre-checked so that all the user needs to do is type in the stock symbol and then click the Go button to draw a complete FAST graphs. The box marked Select Years has a drop-down that allows the user to draw historical FAST graphs for a period of time as short as 2 years or all the way up to 20 years. The associated performance results, to include a dividend cash flow table if the company pays dividends, are automatically provided for whatever time frame the user chooses. This can be especially useful to illustrate how valuation can impact investor return over time. The ability to add or delete any of these areas can provide a useful function of this dynamic tool. Also, to save the user time, any of the historical FAST graphs can be deleted by simply unchecking its associated box. This is a very useful option if you plan to conduct a quick review of numerous companies in rapid succession. With fewer graphs to draw, the page views can move a lot more quickly. In addition to the fundamentals that are automatically correlated with the stock price on a normal FAST graphs, there are 3 cash flow components that can be added to the graph either individually or collectively. By checking one or all 3 of the cash flow boxes, these important fundamental attributes can be overlaid on the graph. With certain companies, these cash flow overlays can add much greater insight to the fair valuation of certain businesses. This will become readily apparent on a stock-by-stock basis to the FAST graph subscriber. The navigation bar pertaining to the historical FAST graph also has a box that can be checked in order to draw logarithmic graphs, as well as 2 links, written in yellow ink, taking you to Google Finance or Microsoft Investor websites. There is one additional historical FAST graphs navigational item for the premium subscriber. Premium subscribers have the ability to click the gray rectangular button titled Review, which takes them to an area of the historical FAST graphs that allows them to review specific historical time frames. In this section, you will see 2 buttons with drop-down windows titled Start Year and End Year. By clicking the drop-down window, the premium subscriber can pick a period in history that they would like to examine. For example, 1999 to 2003. A final feature of the historical FAST graphs is the link to the company's website at the top of the earnings and price correlated graph. This allows the subscriber the ability to begin a more comprehensive research effort on any company that they would be interested in learning more about. This is further evidence of the FAST graph's ability to aid the subscriber in conducting comprehensive fundamental research deeper and faster than ever before. This is the second in a series of 5 demos that illustrate the enormous power and benefits of the FAST graph research tool. The next demo will cover the basics of how to use the forecasting portion of the FAST graphs research tool.